Is the top in for this market cycle? That is the question we are asking, and we are on part 5 of this series. Now, just like the last video, in this video, we're going to be looking at something that does have some negative connotations to it. However, overall, I am still thinking that we are bullish and that the market cycle top is not in. So let's take a look at this and see what I'm talking about. So as you could see, we have the Bitcoin net unrealized profit and loss, or the NUPL chart, up on the screen. And so this blue line represents the net profit and loss of the current market participants that hold Bitcoin. So obviously, as more and more market participants get into Bitcoin and the price keeps on going up, the net profit is going to continue to go up. And what they did was they overlaid an emotional or psychological chart over this, where they have the different phases of the market cycle, such as capitulation, hope, fear, optimism, belief/denial, and then euphoria and greed. So as long as the NUPL is above this white area, most or the average amount of Bitcoin that people have purchased is in profit. So once it gets to be in the 75% area, that is when everyone is basically in profit and euphoria and greed are starting to overtake the market. And that's usually when smart money and the big whales and people have been holding for a long time start to take their money. So just going over this chart, starting back at the first top in 2013, the NUPL score was 83. The second top in 2013, it was also 83. Then in 2017, when Bitcoin topped out around $20,000, it was at 77. So we had 83, 83, 77, 78 perhaps. And if we zoom in to the previous cycle top, you could see that it actually came up on the first cycle top back in March, and it reached just underneath the euphoria and greed area at around 73%. And even when it hit that, though, this was not really the top, because Bitcoin continued to move up and up and up and reached $64,000. So once it got to the peak, once the NUPL got to the peak of 74, 75, there was still quite a ways to go for Bitcoin. And then the second cycle top, when Bitcoin reached $69,000, the NUPL did not even come close to the euphoria or the greed phase. Now, one thing to take note of is, just like how the other metric showed that in March of this year, 2024, when the price of Bitcoin topped out around 74,000 and then dropped all the way down to 50K, it was at a certain level. Well, this is also at a certain level, which is 64%, and that's the same level where it is now. So it's at the same level where it dropped back in March, and that is a little concerning. Not only that, but it is also at the same level where it dropped from the previous cycle highs, even though it did reach a higher level before that. So this is actually pretty concerning. And because it is currently at the same level that it was at the previous cycle top in 2021, I cannot say that this is bullish or that the top isn't in. So with the NUPL, the fact that it has gone over 70% every single cycle except for this one so far makes me more bullish than bearish. Very similar to the CBBI that I went over in a previous part in this series. I might be 25% bearish, 75% bullish. I might be 40% bearish, 60% bullish. But regardless, I'm still more bullish than bearish, despite the fact that we're at the same levels that we were during the second peak of the 2021 cycle. And we're at the same level where we were back in March. And so I really don't think that the indicator is going to top out at the same level that it was back in March of this year, when we obviously were nowhere near a market cycle top. And so that's why with this indicator, same thing with the CBBI, I am going to say that they are more bullish. And so because of that, all of these so far are indicating that the market cycle is not over.